You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.
We are back. We're big back. We're a couple of big back guys. Sorry, I don't know where that came from.
I have no idea where you're going with this.
Okay.
And I'm loving every minute of it.
We are back. What are you doing? What are you fingering that
I'm
thing?
stirring it. So I poured this drink the opposite way you normally do it. I poured the pop in first, and then I put the liquor in afterwards. I want to mix it up a little bit because I do not want to, take a swig of it and just basically take a shot. So
you didn't make a comment about my hair tonight. I got the Gordon Bombay. I'm rocking the Gordon Bombay.
The show just started, man. Give me some time. I wanted to comment on the shirt. You said you're going to wear the opposite of the one you wore last time, the red and white. Loving every minute of it.
This is the red and white.
You got the slick back.
I got the slick back.
Your pimp named Slip Back.
Was it raining? This is style, Hans. You look like you just got out of the shower. Just went for the Gordon Bombay, the slick back. We got a big night. We got the Sweet 16 of the Adams movie bracket. So I wanted to look the part for the commentation tonight.
The movie March Madness is continuing.
Yes.
So we're gonna keep going with that.
But first, before we get into that, I have some somber news that I wanted to talk about on the show. 2025 strikes again.
It's been a fucking terrible year.
2025 has just started. I mean, we're in April, but it has been rotten. And I know we say that all the time, but this one is extremely rotten. Just a couple episodes ago, I was talking about how my Meemaw passed away, and I'm still reeling from that, still dealing with that.
Yeah.
And just this past week, my cat Ruby passed away.
You should have sent me a picture. I would have put it up on the thing. I just thought of it right now. We could have put a picture. Of Ruby
I
up
can.
there.
I'm going to.
Okay.
But that's usually for the other one, right? Not for the live.
I would have pulled it up on here too. I would have just popped it up on. Here. That's what I'm saying.
Well, that probably would have made me sad. But she had been. I told you how she had been sick for a while. She was a very old cat. She was 17 years old.
Yeah.
And she wasn't eating, and she was kind of breathing heavy, and but then she got better and she started eating again, and then it was like one of those that happens, I think.
Yeah.
With people, they get the second wind, and so it's very, very sad. My youngest daughter, Nina, Ruby was like her baby.
Ruby was an awesome cat.
She was a very cool cat, and she loved you too.
Yeah,
so
she did. Oh yeah.
You would house sit for us. Typically in the summer, we went on vacation, and you'd make sure Ruby had food and water and company because
we'd sit and chill, for like an hour. We'd just sit there and chill and scratch her back. And
so, I know you're probably feeling this loss too. So the story about Ruby, I want to tell a little bit. I post this on my my Facebook, my social media. We rescued her from the shelter. Shout out to Angels for Animals. This is a great shelter in Youngstown, Ohio. It was like the one and only time I've ever adopted an animal from there. But Kristen and I had just gotten married. We had just moved into our house, and we wanted to get a cat. And so we went there. We didn't want a kitten. We wanted to get a young adult
established cat.
Yes, we did. And we went to this place. They have a cat room. They have this giant 2-story cat tree. It's a literal tree. Cats can climb up it. It's the most wildest thing. This place is great. And there's you walk into this room. It's just a big open room, and there's just 100 cats.
That's
in this
awesome.
fucking room.
That's awesome.
It's like what heaven probably is. That's what I imagine heaven, this room. So we went there, and it was Kristen and I, Kristen's sister, and her kids, and her one I guess it would be my nephew. He came and he sat on they had like benches in there. He sat on this bench, right? And we're walking around, we're seeing cats. And I kind of had in my mind, like, I kind of want a black cat. Because black cats are cool and a lot of people don't like them. And yeah.
Orange cats are the coolest, though.
I've had orange cats before.
Coolest.
Yeah, they're cool too. So I kind of want, we're just looking, you know. And we realized that this little gray, blue cat, whatever, jumped up on Payson, my nephew's, and sat there on his lap the whole time. We were here for the good or better part of an hour, and the cat just sat there with him. And after a while, we're like, what are we doing? That's obviously the cat.
Yeah.
Like no question about it. That was Ruby. We took Ruby home. She entered our family. She was 4 years old when we rescued her. Her story's kind of sad. She was a cat lady in Youngstown, Ohio, had 20-some cats in her house.
That's too many cats.
It's too many cats. In fact, it's too many cats that even the city got involved. And the ASPCA and the dog catcher, the dog warden, whatever, had to come tell her, hey, you're over code. Like, you can't have this many cats. So they had to tell her, like, you can keep 6. Like, that's the maximum. That's what the ordinance is. So the other 15 or whatever, like...
You have that many cats, how do you choose? Like, really?
I don't... That's what I was wondering. Somehow, Ruby didn't make the cut.
That's crazy.
That's crazy to me. And she got sent to this shelter, and that's where she had been. I don't think she was at the shelter that long. I don't know. I don't know actually how long she was there. But we do know she was 4 years old when we adopted her. And we had her for 13 years. She was wonderful. Once Eva and Nina were born, she pretty much didn't care about Kristen or I anymore. She loved those girls.
Yeah.
Like, they were toddlers, and they're just... Ruby didn't care. The toddlers, they could just carry her around. She was, like, the most chill cat in the world. She slept with Nina. I'm tearing up. She slept with Nina, like, every night until she got sick and had to go outside. So, yeah, it hit her really hard. Hit all of us really hard. She's, like, a big part of our family who's gone, and it happened right after Mima passed away. So it's like you get hit twice.
Yeah.
But there is a little bit of a slimmer, I guess, of a silver lining here. Mima had a cat. That cat has been at Mima's house since Mima passed.
Yeah.
And people have just been stopping, taking care of it. And so that cat's going to come home with us now.
How old is this cat?
This cat is 4 years old. This cat has a very sad story, too.
It's Destiny. 4-year-old sad cat.
And it's a gray cat, like Ruby. So this is this cat's story. So
do it like The Simpsons, name Ruby, too.
It doesn't have a name. We just call her Mama Kitty. Like, that's what Mima called her, Mama Kitty.
You got to name the cat.
So I don't know if I could name Ruby, too. I don't know if I could do that. But at any rate, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I want to tell Mama Kitty's story because it's also a sad one. Kristen's stepmother, she has horses, and she has a barn. And there's a road near where we live, and the barn's right off the road. And that's she keeps her horses and everything. And people suck. People do this all the time. People will drop cats off.
Yeah.
They'll see a barn, and they'll just drop them off. So she's telling me she's got all these stray cats that just live in the barn. And she's an animal lover, so she goes in and she takes care of them and she feeds them. And this one cat had kittens. And so she would feed the Mama Kitty and feed the kittens and everything was fine. She came in one day. She goes, it looked like a scene out of a horror movie. There was dead kittens and blood and, like, apparently a raccoon. Did you know raccoons did this? They eat kittens?
I mean, raccoons will eat anything, I think.
I didn't know. I thought they just, like, ate garbage and were, like, mean. But apparently they won't attack cats because cats are, like, the same size as them.
Yeah.
But they'll attack and kill kittens. So a raccoon got into the barn, and it attacked the mother, killed all of her kittens except for one. And the mother cat was beat up and bloody, and one kitten was hurt, but all the other kittens were dead. So they had to, like, get them out of there because they're probably going to come back again.
Yeah.
So the kitten, they nursed him back to health or whatever. The kitten went to Kristen's sister. She still has a cat now, but we didn't know what to do with the mother cat. The mother cat, we got to get her out of here. So right around this time, Mima had a dog that had passed away. She had no animals. So I took the cat to Mima's, where the cat has been living ever since. And now that Mima passed away, the cat's there by itself, and Ruby passes away, and
You have to.
it's
now.
like the stars align. Mama Kitty's gonna come to us, so you're still gonna cat sit for us when we're gone, but it'll be Mama Kitty. I'm not getting my hopes. She's a nice cat. She is. She's not Ruby.
No.
Ruby was a 1 in a million, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think she'll get accustomed to us. I think she'll assimilate to our family, and I'm happy to have her. But I've been like cleaning. Ruby lived in like the breezeway in between our garage and our house, and there was cat fur and old cat food. Like I've been cleaning like
that
a
needs
mother.
a good scrub down. That needs like a power wash.
You've seen it.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's bad. So it's actually a lot better than it was, and I still got a ways to go. So anyway, yeah. So that sucks.
My mother lost a cat. Not this year, but like towards the end of 2024.
Oh, she did?
She
Yeah.
did. Orange cat named Toby. Was my grandmother's, and then, like most of my grandmother's pets, ended up at my mother's house. Greatest fucking cat. Absolutely greatest cat. Come up to you right away. Like all that nonsense. Like loved cuddling with you. Is the greatest cat. He too, I guess he was just like not eating. He was just like not eating. He must
Was
have been
he
sick.
old?
No, he was young.
Really?
He was young.
Oh.
Like maybe 4 or 5 years old.
Oh.
Maybe.
Yeah, see, Ruby was 17.
Yeah.
We got her when she was 4, and we had her for 13 years. So she had a good life.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad, but
But my mom took him to the vet, and they did some blood work, and like, yeah, he's not good, and so they had to put him down. So that was like towards. It may not have been 2025, but I'm counting it because 2025 it's been. Leave
been
my
bad.
balls alone, okay? Stop punching me, please.
It's been
Kick
bad.
me in the balls. It's not been great.
So I wanted to open that up, and I wanted to pay tribute to Ruby, but life goes on,
Yes,
and
for good or ill, life goes on. you
Yeah.
know.
yeah.
We'll see about that.
So I don't want this to be a melancholy show. The one we talked about Mima passing away, I was like sad the whole show, and
yeah.
but this one, no, I'm gonna.
Big thing, when big news happens, you got to talk about it, and it's cathartic, it's therapeutic. But we got something else, Scott. We got a continuation of something that we've been doing. A little bit of a bit, a little bit of a thingamabob.
Talking about the tournament?
So the tournament.
I forgot to do the top tap.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
We're here.
Movie March
Sweet
Madness
16.
continues.
It's the Sweet 16, Adam. I am so happy with this. And we have some big news that we're going to announce tonight here on the show.
Fuck it.
I had to clear it with
Let's
Adam
do it.
first.
Yeah, let's.
But
yeah.
the big news is the winner of the 2025 Movie March Madness tournament will have its movie poster placed right behind us on the green wall.
We've been
That's
talking
right.
about it for a while. We've been saying this wall. We got the setup is good.
Yes.
But we just need to fill this back space.
It's boring back there. We need something.
Yeah.
And I think whoever wins this tournament, and we're going to do this every year now. Every March, this is going to happen, and there's going to be a whole wall full of your champions. The Wall of Fame right here.
Are we gonna do movies every year? Or are we gonna switch it up? Maybe pick a different genre of something.
I like the movies, but you know what? You can do a different one for me.
Okay. Yeah. I got a year to think about it.
I got a year to think about it. But I'm going to do movies for you again next year. But are you ready to get into it?
I'm ready. I've been waiting. I'm ready
Okay,
to go.
it's not going to take as long because each time we whittle down. So we're at the Sweet 16.
Sweet 16.
This is big.
Sweet.
All right, let's get into it. I'm excited.
Let's do it.
So we are going to start in the sci-fi region. And the first matchup in the sci-fi region is the number 1 seed, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, taking on one of the Cinderellas, the 12th seed, Fifth Element. We got it. We got
I
the
managed to
graphic.
do- little big this time. That's why I'm leaning back. I'll lean back. Yeah, lean back. Well, you're lean back that way. You're leaning back this way. There you go. So
Roger that.
yeah, you were leaning the wrong way. All right, so we got Terminator 2 versus The Fifth Element. I love both these movies, obviously. That's why they made it to the Sweet 16. Gary Oldman, Bruce Willis, Mila Jovovich, great. Arnold Schwarzenegger, he basically carries the entire freaking movie.
Linda Hamilton's pretty great. Edward Furlong's pretty great. Robert Patrick's pretty great.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's good. Despite what the Terminator franchise is now, I got to judge this based on T2. And I'm going T2, man. T2 is taking this one absolutely. I love Fifth Element. Fifth Element's like a good cookie watch. It's like a good junk food watcher. You just kind of sit there and just kind of watch it. Like T2 is like you got to sit and pop some popcorn for that.
Oh yeah, it's a blockbuster.
Oh yeah. Borderline perfect movie.
All right, on to the next one. Who's going to be moving on to the Elite Eight out of this? And Adam, I don't know if you did this on purpose or just worked out the way. We've got a George Lucas Star Wars grudge match.
We do.
We have the number 3 seed Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back taking on the number 7 seed Star Wars Return of the Jedi.
So, 2 of the best Star Wars movies ever made. Out of like the 9, definitely the 2 best ones. Obviously, it had to go head to head. Now, despite what people will say in my opinions of Return of the Jedi, I do love Return of the Jedi. I don't even hate the Ewoks. I just hate the fact that the Ewoks beat the Empire, basically. Still a great movie. It does not beat The Empire Strikes Back, though. The Empire Strikes Back is a chef's kiss of a movie. That's what that is. Empire Strikes Back is amazing.
I didn't think you liked Return of the Jedi that much.
I do like it.
Okay, I was wrong.
I just hate the Ewoks. That's all.
I love the Ewoks. I love them. All right, we're going to move on to the action region of the Sweet 16. Man, oh man, we got some good ones. Our first matchup is the number 9 seed Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, which is taking on the number 5 seed Independence Day.
This is a little tough for me. This one's actually a little tough for me because I love The Two Towers, but I love Independence Day as well. I have a lot of really good memories of these movies too. Watching them with my mother. A lot of times, my mother was the one that turned me on. Yes, my mother was the one that turned me on to, Lord of the Rings. We went to go see. I remember when we went to go see Two Towers together. My mother has always liked the story, but she never actually sat down and read the books. For both of us, it was kind of like a new story. So like there was no spoilers. At the beginning of that movie, when it flies into the mountain, Gandalf's standing on the bridge, and then the camera follows him down when he falls off into the cavern.
Had you already seen Fellowship, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
So but we didn't know he survived. We didn't know he shows up later because we never read the books. And Gandalf was my mom's favorite character because she likes, all that kind of stuff. And she's like, I fucking knew it when the camera's flying. Like, I fucking knew he was survived. So that's great. But we have a lot of good memories of Independence Day as well. It's a toughie for me. I think I'm gonna have to go Independence Day though.
Oh.
I think I'm gonna have to go Independence Day.
Wow.
Mostly, I think it beats it out just because of the quotable nature of that movie. I've been saying it. I've been saying it for 10 damn years. Like it's an incredibly quotable movie. And it's an easier watch than I think Two Towers. Two Towers, you got to be in the mood to watch Lord of the Rings.
Independence Day, I had a little trouble placing this in a region because it's definitely action, but it's also got sci-fi elements and it's got comedy elements.
Yeah.
So I put it in the action. It could fit into the other two easily, but that's
Most
where
movies
it is.
can. Most movies can.
It's here. I don't know if it would have fared as well if it was in another region, but it is what it is. Moving on to the Elite Eight, Independence Day. Great job. All right, the next matchup here, we have the number 3 seed, Saving Private Ryan, versus the number 10 seed, The 300. Both
amazing war movies. Both period pieces, essentially. I would argue Saving Private Ryan is a period piece because, it's almost been 100 years since fucking World War II.
They're both war movies.
They're both war movies, yes. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Saving Private Ryan is on the more serious side, the more dramatic side, where 300's more of the, just shoot basically cocaine into your veins and then just scream your head off and let's go. Of the two movies, the more fun one is 300. That's way more fun. A lot more fun to watch. But I'm going to choose Saving Private Ryan.
Oh.
Because amazing. Like, it is my favorite war movie out of all of them. I don't care if it's like overly dramatic. I don't care if, like it's supposed to be dramatic. I cry every time. Every time. It's such a good movie. It's so good.
One thing and one thing only. Killing Nazis.
That's another thing too.
They kill
Nazis. That's even better. See, I'm going Saving Private Ryan over 300. Nothing against 300 though.
Wow, you've been surprising me a little bit here early on. Okay, we're gonna move on to the comedy region, and this is our true Cinderella of the tournament. So, the 16th seed Dogma taking on the number 4 seed, The Life Aquatic, with Steve Zissou. Now, I want to say something here. In real March Madness basketball tournament, the history of the tournament, there have only ever been 2 16 seeds to knock off a number 1 seed. Both of those times, the 16th seed lost the very next game. There has never, ever, ever in the history of the March Madness tournament have a 16 seed team make it to the Sweet 16. But in the first March Madness movie, they did it right away.
Yeah.
So Dogma killing it as a 16 seed. They had to play their way into the tournament.
They've been working hard.
And here they are in the Sweet 16. But we got a theme for the comedy region.
A little bit,
We've got Kevin Smith versus Bill Murray tonight, because I know you and you love both of them. They're 2 of your favorite guys.
We bonded over Life Aquatic. Like that was one of the first early movies that we kind of bonded over. Like I was digging it. I love the nature of it, the dry humor of it.
It's so good.
It's so good, and I love Bill Murray too. I'm big fan of him, but I love Kevin Smith a lot. Like I was introduced to Dogma way before, obviously, Life Aquatic. One of the best Kevin Smith movies, I think, in my opinion. Star-studded cast. Chris Rock. I'm bad with names. Professor Snape.
Oh, Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman, fucking hilarious in this movie.
I would argue both of these movies have star-studded casts.
They do. Yes, they do.
Yes.
Having said that, Scott, I'm picking Dogma.
Cinderella moves on.
I think Dogma, as much as I love Life Aquatic, Dogma is a much more funny movie to watch. It's not as serious as Life Aquatic. Life Aquatic takes a turn. Like you get the feels a little bit in Life Aquatic towards the end of that movie. We're in the comedy bracket. I want to laugh my ass off through the entire thing.
I completely underrated Dogma when I was seeding this tournament. I won't make that mistake again.
Cinderella story. Can Dogma make it?
Okay. Still staying in the comedy region here. We have another Bill Murray v. Kevin Smith matchup.
You did this on purpose.
I did not. You did this. You're the one that picks the winner here.
I didn't. I don't pick the winner. Fate picks the winner. Sorry.
We have the number 3 seed Ghostbusters taking on the number 2 seed Clerks.
So, I will say this. Obviously, these movies came out when we were younger. You're a few years older than me, but when we were younger, these movies came out.
I don't think you were alive when Ghostbusters came out.
I'm talking about... I guess I didn't specify. I'm talking about Kevin Smith movies specifically.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about like Clerks and Dogma and stuff like that.
Yes.
So Clerks came out when I was very young. My mom had the VHS, but I never watched it when I was young because I'm a kid. I'm like black and white. I don't want to watch that. So I didn't watch Clerks till way later. I watched Dogma probably before I watched Clerks.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually watched Mallrats before I watched Clerks.
I think the first Kevin Smith movie I really watched was Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Get out of here.
I think.
That came out in like 2001.
I think I watched that, and then I think I watched Dogma. I watched all these on like basic cable, like Comedy Central, like shit like that.
Were they edited?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I didn't watch Clerks till way later on. Ghostbusters I've been watching since I was a kid, though. That was a staple in my house. I'm going to give it to this one, even though I do think I like the other one more today than I did when I was young. But Ghostbusters is moving on. It's going to be Ghostbusters. I have more fond memories with Ghostbusters. It's been in my life way longer than Kevin Smith has been in my life, his movies. So I'm going to give it to Ghostbusters. Another incredibly quotable movie, one of Bill Murray's best. Definitely going to give it to Ghostbusters.
All right. Wow. If I was a betting man, I would have probably picked more wrong tonight for you than right. Horror. We're going to the horror region. And we've got the number 1 seed Alien taking on the number 5 seed Silence of the Lambs.
This is a bit of a toughie. For me. Two very, very different movies. One hand, you basically have a science fiction horror movie. The other one, you have classic, serial killer thriller type movie. Alien is very unique in the sense that I can't make this claim because I don't know, but it's definitely like one of the big ones that people think of when you think of a science fiction movie that's actually a horror movie.
In space, no one can hear you scream.
Right. Like typically when you think of like space alien movies, you think like Star Wars, like bam, 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 shooting laser blast. Nobody thinks like horror movie monsters gonna come at you. Silence of the Lambs, classic though. Hello,
more
Clarice.
Psychological.
Yes, I love psychological horror movies. I'm going Alien though. I think it's the better. I think it's a better horror movie. I like it a lot more than Silence of the Lambs. Silence of the Lambs is one of those kind of movies where once you watch it once, maybe give it a rewatch every now and then, every few years. Alien, you could watch that movie like once a year, and it's just as good as when you watch it last year.
Okay. And our last matchup for this round, we have the 6 seed, The Mummy, taking on the number 2 seed, Jurassic Park.
I was thinking about this one. I was kind of thinking about this one because I was wondering what I was picking. Because on one hand, I love Brendan Fraser. This movie, first of all, Brendan Fraser makes this movie. You don't have Brendan Fraser in The Mummy, it's not as good. That's just the way it is. He's charming. He's great. He's funny. This is like early Brendan Fraser when he's like almost being an action star kind of thing.
Again, this is one of those ones. I put it in horror, but it could have been action. It could have been comedy.
It's both. I would argue it's both. But then you got Jurassic Park, though. Jurassic Park has the luxury of being one of those movies that still holds up to this day. Because they use practical effects for most of the movie, you can watch that movie today and it would have just came out yesterday, basically, you would have thought. Like, it's done so well. The story's done so well. Classic, the music, everything about it so well. I'm going to go Jurassic Park is what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to go. I love The Mummy, but Jurassic Park is way better. A lot better.
Okay.
Couple upsets this round.
Couple upsets. That one I probably would have gone chalk on that last one.
Yeah.
But let's see. I'll do it. So moving on. Terminator 2 defeats The Fifth Element. I would have picked that. Empire Strikes Back beats Return of the Jedi. I would have picked that. Independence Day moves on to the Elite Eight over The Two Towers. I wouldn't have picked that. And Saving Private Ryan over The 300. I wouldn't have picked that for you. And we have Dogma. The Cinderella is still going strong. The 16th seed Dogma moves on to the Elite Eight by taking out Life Aquatic. I wouldn't have picked that.
Ladies and gentlemen, they might make it to the end. We'll see.
Ghostbusters, I would say upsets Clerks because I wouldn't have picked that for you. Ghostbusters moves on. And then these ones are pretty much chalk. I would have picked both these Aliens over Silence of the Lambs and Jurassic Park over The Mummy. So in the Elite Eight, we have Terminator 2 Judgment Day, Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, Independence Day, Saving Private Ryan, Dogma, Ghostbusters, Alien, and Jurassic Park. Those are your top 8 movie March Madness. Tune in next time. I'm excited.
It's been good so far.
And whoever wins gets their mug right up here on the wall.
For anybody out there saying this too, I'm going to do this as unbiased as I possibly can. I'm not going to pick based on what I want to see on the wall. I'm just going to pick what I want, what I think it would, who would win, what I think I'd want more. That's what I'm going with.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Can't wait to see those on TikTok.
I'm enjoying this a lot. It's just pump the brakes on that, okay? It's happening. It's happening. Those are happening. It's, you know, they're time consuming. TikToks are time consuming to make is what they are.
Yeah, they are.
Especially the way that we have to do it, because like the way that we have to do it, because like we're on both sides of the screen, I have to basically cut it up in half, and then it makes it more and more difficult.
I'm just kicking you in the nuts here, but you've done a really great job.
I would
really
like
good.
to think I have done a really good job. I did so the playing games, I did send those to you. Those TikToks are done.
I haven't put them out yet.
Just yesterday. I finished them yesterday, so that's why. So those are, and now I'm going to be working on, I'll be honest with you, I'm debating about just skipping the first tournament and just moving on. We'll see. I don't know. There's a lot of videos. There's like 30 some videos. We'll see. Probably not. I knowing me, I'm going to make them all. So
if you guys follow us on TikTok, eventually you'll see these videos.
Someday.
I'm Scotty Knows.
TikTok has been extended. It's been extended, by the way.
It has?
It was going to be banned today. Donald Trump extended it for another 75 days. Push the ban down, kick the can down the road, so to speak. So I'm Hot Takes. Possibly will change that name because I'm not doing with my TikTok what I want to do just because of time-wise. So I was going to have those hot takes, the stupid hot takes for political. I'm not doing that fucking bullshit.
We'll post the links to our TikToks onto the For Your Distraction Facebook page, so it makes it easier for you guys to find them.
The beta version of Skylight's out, by the way.
What's that?
That's Blue Sky's TikTok thing. You remember
really?
They were doing their own video thing?
I did not know that. I mean, you told me that, but I didn't know it was out.
The beta is out. It's still like work in progress. I call it Skylight. So
Skylight.
Yeah.
Let's check that out.
I meant to make us one, but I didn't. Scott,
Adam,
we got a little time left because we're whittling down to the elites. We got extra time in terms of what we're doing. So we got a few things. Scott, let me ask. I got one quick question to ask for you. Just one quick question. We weren't obviously recording when this happened, and we're not going to talk in detail about it. We were recording when this happened, but are you feeling it, Scott? Are you feeling it?
Feeling it?
Are you feeling liberated? Happy Liberation Week, dude. Happy Liberation Week.
We're liberated?
Yeah, we're liberated. We're liberated.
Oh, I'm sorry. No one told me I was liberated.
I mean, it was Liberation Day, but because we're at the end of the week, it's Liberation Week. Are you happy? Are we liberated now? Are we finally great again, Scott?
Explain to me. This is the first I'm hearing about Liberation Day. It sounds like a woke DEI holiday to me.
Oh, no, it's not. It's the most patriotic holiday that has ever existed, Scott.
What are we liberated from?
We're liberated from the money in our pockets. We're liberated from our 401ks. We're liberated
from those.
All that stuff because the tariffs have gone into place, Scott.
Oh, the tariffs. I did want to talk about the tariffs.
We kind of have to.
It was bad. It was a bad week for anybody who has money. The stock market tanked, bro.
This is stupid. So at my job, I've never made enough money to really put in for the retirement, like the 401ks and stuff like that at any job I've ever worked. Technically, I'm not making a lot of money now, but I'm 36, so I'm like, I have to do it now. I have to get started somehow. So I just submitted my shit for getting into the 401k at my job right before he announced the tariffs, right before he signed them in. So I started my 401k with my next paycheck. So it's going to be an interesting time. I think it's a good time to get in.
I mean, you're getting it on the ground floor.
Yes.
I mean,
and like I said, I've been playing the stocks now. So I've been doing the stock market. Right. I just bought some stocks.
This is a good time to buy, I guess.
This is my time. This is my time. Up there's their time. This is my time. Yeah, is what it is. I mean, I'm gonna be an elite. That's what I'm for, because the whole reason why these tariffs are happening is so that his billionaire buddies can buy cheap. I'm buying cheap. I got a wish list, Scott. I got a wish list of things I want to buy. I own some stock. Let me tell you this. I own Ford. Ford is a fucking good-ass stock to buy because it's cheap and the price has not fluctuated. They've actually gone up a little bit.
Because they're an American-made vehicle. That's
They're a
why.
good stock to buy.
Even though those prices are going to go up too.
Yeah, the Ford stock is good stock to buy and hold. That's like dividend stock. That's like stock that you hold on to it and you get paid in dividends. But like I got a wish list and stuff. I'm waiting for Nvidia to drop to a certain point. As much as I hate Walmart, I'm waiting for that stock to get to a certain point because, you know, Walmart's never going away. So that's a good stock to wait till it gets cheap. I've even got Disney on my list. I'm going to get some Disney stock involved because they're dropping too. But Disney's not going away either. From what I understand, the way they figured out the tariffs, first of all, they're not reciprocal tariffs because they're way more than what we're being tariffed. The idea with the reciprocal tariffs, like we're going to tariff them as much as they're tariffing us. No, it's actually higher than what they're. So now, I'll tell you this. Donald Trump did succeed in something, though. Remember how he was the great uniter? People are saying he's the great uniter. Mm-hmm. Man, he really united South Korea, Japan, and China to go into trade war against us. So technically, he's a uniter.
Like constant enemies.
Yes.
Like
I don't know how South Korea and Japan
along over there.
South Korea and Japan feel about each other, but China and them, they don't get along at all.
China and Japan have been historically enemies.
Yes.
And South Korea and China have been historically enemies. Like we're talking,
they used to do like war crimes to each other.
Yeah.
Like horrendous things. But they've united in this idea of a trade war with us. You know, conveniently, who is not in the who's not being tariffed? It's kind of strange. I don't know why. Israel and Russia apparently aren't getting any tariffs, from what I understand.
Of course not.
So I don't know why. I can't.
Our war crime friends.
I wonder why. I don't know. This is how fucking stupid this is. All right, real talk now. Real talk for a second. This is how fucking stupid this is. He put tariffs on an island not inhabited by humans.
Yeah.
Mostly inhabited by penguins.
McDonald Island?
Yeah.
And Heard Island?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that.
He put a tariff. I'm going to repeat that again before anybody's like, no way he did. He put a tariff on an island where no humans live.
They produce nothing.
They produce penguins.
You know what? I don't know how true this is, but I saw a TikTok with somebody who got to the bottom of why. Like, first of all, they looked at all the, and there's other weird ones, but those two in particular were the weirdest of ones. And they were trying to figure out why. Did you hear what they said? How the tariffs came to be?
How? Oh, I've heard two reasons.
I heard it was ChatGPT. I heard it was ChatGPT that randomly processed.
What I heard was I heard two. I heard the ChatGPT one. I heard they just asked ChatGPT to say, hey, how much should the U.S. Tariff the rest of the world? And it gave them the answer. But I also heard that they used some formula that has nothing to do with the actual tariffs are on there. It has to do with like the deficit, and they included a bunch of shit that shouldn't be included in calculating a tariff in there. That's why they're so high. Either way, they did it wrong. No matter what, they did it wrong.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, ladies and gentlemen. That chart that he was holding up when he fucking signed the goddamn executive order.
I saw that.
That chart is not accurate. That's not how much we're being tariffed. That's a lot more. Here's another great uniter thing. From what I heard, Republicans are really pissed off about it, so they're working with Democrats to try to push forward a bill that says the president can't just raise tariffs without congressional approval.
I heard about that. And there's one that's really close to being voted on from Canada. It's about like lowering or stopping altogether the tariffs on Canada, because those are the ones that are pretty high. Yeah. And it's going to hurt us the most. The Canadian tariffs. Yeah. I don't know how true that is. I hope that's accurate. I hope Republicans, Democrats can actually work together on that. I hope it's ChatGPT. Oh, you said how Russia and Israel got no tariffs? Yeah. South Africa also didn't get any tariffs.
I wonder why.
Do you want to know why? It's all part of it is apartheid. The other part of it is Elon Musk.
I heard Elon Musk is he's getting ousted though.
I did hear that, but I think he doesn't like what he's doing.
But Elon Musk has done everything he wanted to do. He dismantled all the agencies that were investigating his companies. He did his job. He did what he wanted to do. Now he doesn't care anymore.
But have you seen Tesla stock?
Have
bad.
I told you, Tesla stock is on my watch list just because I want to watch it crumble.
It's really bad.
It's down.
You told me about the video last week of him crying on the verge of tears, I should say, about, I think that's why he's getting out. I think he realizes, like, this is destroying my business.
He made this. Well, not only that, but one of the early investors, one of the big investors in Tesla, that was like early on before Elon Musk was even involved in Tesla. Because spoiler alert, he didn't create Tesla. He bought Tesla. He didn't create it. You fucks that think that he created that business. He did not. But one of the early investors basically like came out and said like, hey, like we need to vote to see if we can kick this motherfucker out because he's ruining our business. So he's backing up. Mind you, he's sitting there crying on Fox News because Tim Waltz was, making fun of the fact that his Tesla stock was, going down. He's sitting there crying about it. Not like 2 weeks earlier, he brought a real fucking chainsaw out on stage as he was bragging about slashing the budget and ruining people's jobs and livelihoods and putting veterans out of work.
Yep.
That doesn't matter, but first of all, he's going to survive. Elon Musk is going to survive after the dude's got all the fucking money in the world. Like, this isn't going to ruin him. He's still going to have money.
A friend of mine's husband works in Butler, Pennsylvania at the mines.
Yeah.
Which is one of the caves. That is one of the big chopping blocks on Elon Musk's target.
Call him Mudget.
Mudget. Yeah, it came out Mudget. Budget and Musk. Yeah, okay. That's fun. That's kind of funny. I'm going to roll with that.
I'm going to check.
That's going to be the name of the show, Mudget. Put it in the notes. Fighting Mudget. No, but he was one of the ones who got the email from Elon Musk that said, email me 5 things you've done this week.
Justify your job, basically.
Yes. He was one of the ones who got that email. And instantly his boss sent an office email to everybody. Says, no one is to respond to that email in any way, shape, or form. He has no authority over this department or you. Yeah. And so nobody responded. I don't know if he got very many responses to that at all.
I think a lot of organizations and departments, basically their heads said a lot of the same thing. Yes. Like, don't fucking respond to him.
I would have lost. He said don't. So the guy I talked to was like, I wanted to put the most ridiculous things ever. Yeah. I put a picture of you in the urinal and used it for target practice for everybody in the office. He's like, I wanted to say stuff like that, but boss told me not to, so I didn't.
So just so that we put things in context, this time last year, Tesla stock was trading for $488 a share. It is now down to $235 a share. That's a more than 50% cut.
It's more than half
to the fucking stock. Now, granted, everything's going down, but Tesla's really going down. It was dropping way before the tariffs hit, which is fucking great. That's so good. Like, concerted effort, basically. People are like, yeah, let's fucking drop this shit. And then we had the protests today, which, congrats to everybody out there who went out and protest. I intended to. I did not have time. By the time I managed to have any time to do it,
I could have gone, and I wish I would have, and I should have taken.
I didn't realize there were any local ones around here. I was going to go up to Erie, is where I was going to originally go up to.
Yeah, I mean, around where we live, there was a big one in Pittsburgh and Youngstown and Erie, but there were some smaller ones locally here in our little county. Much more calm, but the fact that all these protests were happening was a really great sign. We live in a very small, rural, red county. Yeah. And these 2 communities in our county that are both red cities had almost 200 people each come out. Like, that's amazing on a crappy rainy day. That's just here.
It was not a nice day too. Like, no. And like, I guess, so from what I understand, I was watching some of the lives for some of the protests that were going on, and they were happening everywhere all over the country. And from what I heard, there were other people in other countries that just decided to have their own protest at the same time. So it was kind of a global protest almost of basically what Donald, and he doesn't care, obviously. He didn't give a shit because while we were burying 4 soldiers who lost their lives, he went fucking golfing with the Saudis.
Yep. Unreal.
Mind you, when Biden was president, this fucking video was going all over the place recently. When Biden was president, he was at a memorial burial or something like that for some soldiers.
It was this one, wasn't it?
I think it was, yeah.
It was the same one.
I think it was, yeah. And at one point, he checks his watch, and Fox News roasted Biden. Where you gotta be, Biden? Huh? Why is he checking his watch? What, does it take too long for you? Blah, blah.
Yes.
Notice how they didn't have a fucking word to say about the fact that Trump went golfing with the Saudis on this day.
Trump couldn't even be bothered to attend the ceremony.
Yeah.
Instead went golfing with the Saudis at their live golf course. And not a peep. Not a peep from the right.
No.
But when President Biden actually attended this event and checked his watch one time, and it was the end of the fucking world. The hypocrisy of the right is astounding.
Not only that. So did you hear about that Maryland father that got sent to El Salvador prison? Did you hear about that guy?
Who's an American citizen.
He's an American citizen, and the reason why, first of all, I know, right? It's bullshit.
Izzy's mad too.
He's mad too. Like they've been just snatching up motherfuckers on the street just because they're brown and they have tattoos. Like there was one guy who had like an autism awareness tattooed, and they use that as a justification. Oh, that's a gang tattoo. He must be in a gang. Let's send him out. This dude. So I guess he was investigated like 5 or 10 years ago for being part of whatever this gang is that they keep talking about. But he was found not to be part of the gang. He had a court order that basically said no. We found him. Like, no longer part of it. Izzy, stop. And so I think they were going off of that order that they're like, oh, he was investigated for it. He must be part of the gang. Let's snatch him up. And then they snatch up this innocent dude and then just kick his ass off to El Salvador. And then the White House admitted that it was an error, that he should not have been sent. And when people ask, like, well, are you going to go get him? Be like, no, I don't think we can do that.
He's home now.
Is he home now?
I thought so. Isn't he home now?
No, last I checked, it was like yesterday.
Maybe he's out of the prison. Is that what it is?
Yesterday, what I heard was the courts ordered the Trump administration to go get him. This was yesterday, I think.
But did they release him from the prison? Maybe that's what I heard.
Why would El Salvador release him from the prison? They don't care. It's a labor prison, but basically like slave prison. They don't care. It's run by a dictator. They don't give a shit. They don't fucking care.
Okay, maybe I heard something different then.
Maybe I'm wrong, but last I heard was yesterday a judge said, you have 3 days to go get him.
But what happens if they don't?
That's the fucking question everybody's asking. Like, what's going to happen when he don't? Because they're not going to go do it. They're not going to go do it.
Nothing's going to happen.
I don't know. Here's the thing. We had a big win this week. Not only did we have all these mass protests that were going on, Wisconsin, the elections happened, the state Supreme Court was going on, and Elon Musk pumped millions of dollars into getting this dude elected. He didn't get elected. I can't remember the woman's name, but she got elected. She was on the Democratic Party.
For the Supreme Court, yeah.
Yes, for the state Supreme Court.
Yeah.
That was a big one.
And she won pretty good, too.
Yeah, she won. Well, they were scared of Florida. We all knew Florida was when they...
Well, the Republicans did win Florida.
They did, but the Republicans were scared. They were scared.
Yeah. So there was, in the last couple weeks, Pennsylvania, actually, a couple weeks ago, had a special election, too.
Yeah. Democrats won that one.
Democrats, there was 2, one in the east, and one in Pittsburgh, one near Philadelphia. And the one in Philadelphia they thought was going to go to the Democrats. It was close, but they thought it was going to go to the Democrats. The one in Pittsburgh is a seat that the Democrats have never, ever, ever held.
The district, went Trump this past year.
By 16 points.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah.
Both Democrats won, and they both won pretty good.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing, amazing thing that happened. Also, in North Carolina, the court case came back. Remember, during the same election the Trump won, North Carolina voted for Trump, but everything else voted for Democrats.
Yeah.
Including their Supreme Court seat. But their Supreme Court race was so close. The Democrat won by 600 votes. And, of course, the Republican is challenging it, not conceding.
Oh, yeah.
And the court just finally ruled, it is 100% the Democrats won by, less than 700 votes. Something crazy. Wisconsin, like you said, was a big one.
Yeah.
And in Florida...
Like I said, Elon Musk pumped tens of millions of dollars into that.
There were 2 races in Florida, and yes, the Republicans did win both of them, but they were in both very, very red districts.
Yeah.
and they didn't win by a lot.
The Democrat who was running down there, he managed to raise like millions of dollars for his campaign. The Republican that was going against him raised like less than $1 million for his campaign.
I know. And I mean, it's just showing you like what's going on.
I'm not going to die on this hill, and I'm not going to be a conspiracy theorist, but based on what we've seen just in the past like few weeks, you can't tell me that he legitimately won the last election. I'm sorry.
I knew you were going to say that.
I'm sorry. He had one of Elon Musk was in his camp pumping millions, hundreds of like millions and millions, like so much money,
hundreds of millions
into saying, and then we use Elon Musk satellites to transfer the votes and everything like that. Like,
well, not
fishy.
in our state, we don't.
No, not in our state, but there's a lot of states that did.
I can't speak for every state. I know in Pennsylvania we don't.
Like Elon Musk knew before the polls closed that Trump won.
Yeah, I heard that from you, and I've heard that from other sources. That is fishy. That is fishy.
He knew well before the polls closed. Like he was partying at Mar-a-Lago, and somebody had told somebody else. First, I heard it from Joe Rogan. That's who I first heard it from, and I was like, I don't know, blah, blah, because he's a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
And then I heard it from other sources. Like, okay, like well before the polls close, Elon Musk gets up and he's like, all right, you won, like Trump won, and then he leaves.
Well, your boy Joe Rogan is
yeah, he's been really trying to like backstep.
He
lately.
is very salty on Trump right now. He has been attacking Trump.
Fuck Joe Rogan. You knew what was gonna happen. We all
This is like Joe Rogan. Welcome to the fuck around and find out phase.
Well, yeah, anybody out there who voted for Donald Trump and is surprised, like I didn't think he was gonna do this. I didn't think he was gonna go that. Look at the surprise on my face. We all knew he was gonna do it. If you didn't know, it's because you're fucking stupid. I'm sorry, you're stupid. And you're not stupid because you're not intelligent. You're stupid because you didn't look at the facts ahead of time and just see what was going to happen. People are fucking dumb.
Joe Rogan's podcast it's number 3.
Yeah. It used to be number 1 for a long time, and it's
number 3.
It's losing a lot of. I've seen some recent clips of Joe Rogan when he's talking about like the immigration stuff like this. Like, you just don't do it like this. You can't just like talking shit and stuff like that. You can't do it like that. This isn't humane. It's like, what the fuck did you think he was gonna do, dumbass? Obviously, he's playing like Band-Aid. He's trying to He's trying to step away from Trump as much as he can because he realizes. Not more than 4 months ago, Donald Trump went to the UFC, one of the UFC matches, and there's a video of Joe Rogan going up to him, like shaking his hand and giving him a big old bear hug and stuff like that. Fuck you, Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Well, I've not to sound like a hipster, but I was on the fuck Joe Rogan bandwagon before there was a fuck Joe Rogan bandwagon.
Before you even go there, I was on the fuck Bill Maher bandwagon forever, and then you just recently kind of got on that wagon too. So
well. Bill Maher, he says some crazy ass shit, but he has always been on the fuck Donald Trump. I will give him that.
Yeah.
And he's still there.
That's
he's
the one
still
tip
there.
of the cap. That's a one tip of the cap
there.
I'll give Bill Maher on that one. That's all I want to say.
Do you remember when Bill Maher got sued by Donald Trump before he was ever president? Because he said on his show that Donald Trump is the offspring of orangutans. Do you remember that? And he was like, I'm doing it. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Like he was just talking about like false news. You know, he was doing an experiment. Like,
yeah.
And Donald Trump sued him, and he just didn't back down.
Take a 24andMe.
Funny.
Take a 24andMe test. Come on,
It's
let's
23 and me.
23andMe.
24andMe is like the Down syndrome version. Whoops. Sorry about that.
Womp womp.
So I wanted to say, you were talking about stocks. You were talking about thinking about buying Disney stock. So
I've got a price point that I'm waiting for it to get.
That's fair. That's fair. But here's what I wanted to bring up about Disney. So we've talked about this before, but what are your thoughts on the live action remakes that Disney have been doing?
I think they've oversaturated the market. They shouldn't have done every single goddamn movie. What it should have been was a novelty. That's what it should have been. Maybe like once a year release one fucking live action movie from their old catalog that's live action. That would have been cool. Once they got the early success with some of the ones they did early, like Beauty and the Beast, stuff like that, then they started like, we got to pump them out. We got to do more. I know where you're going with this. I know you're going with Snow White, the most recent one that came out.
Right.
Which, by the way, the low amount of success this movie had caused them to, for right now, cancel their Tangled live action movie. So they're
I didn't know they were doing Tangled live action.
You didn't even know they were doing a Tangled live action movie.
I'd love to see that.
Not anymore. It's not happening. So
Not yet. Here's the thing.
we'll see.
Here's the thing. No. Here's why. I watched a TikTok with one of my Disney content creators, and they made a really good point. And this harkens back to when we were talking about the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey and the Mousetrap movie. Why were those movies made?
They came out of public domain.
They came out of public domain. Winnie the Pooh, Steamboat Willie, they're old as shit. It's what, 75 years or something? I don't even know. Might be 100. I don't even know what the time frame is when it becomes public. But at any rate, Disney's not going to make that mistake again. They are redoing their movies, especially Snow White. Snow White comes into the public domain in the next couple years. They needed to redo it so it renews the copyright, so people could not make a terrible B horror movie involving seven dwarfs.
That's the reason.
That is why. That is why they can't now. They can't now, because it's renewed.
I don't think that's the reason.
That is what I've heard is the reason, and it makes perfect sense.
I don't believe it for a second.
Doesn't it make sense though? How does that not make sense?
They're not gonna keep Mickey fucking Mouse, but they're gonna let Mickey Mouse go into public domain, but they're gonna fucking keep Snow White.
They learned from their mistakes. They shouldn't have done that for Winnie the Pooh and Mickey Mouse.
But it's Snow fucking White. Who gives a shit?
Snow White? Are you kidding me?
Nobody saw this fucking movie. It's done so terribly. Obviously, nobody gives a shit about Snow White.
Adam, Snow White and the Seven Dwarves from 1928 won the Academy Award. It is the
in 1928.
It is, yes.
That's almost 100 years ago.
It is. That's why they got to redo it.
Nobody gives a fuck now.
Adam, a lot of fucking people. Just because you don't give a fuck about it doesn't mean there's a whole lot of people that don't. You would argue wrong.
Poor nature that...
Adam, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is one of the most iconic films of all time. Just because you don't give a shit about it doesn't mean...
Why didn't it make all the fucking money when it was out?
The animated classic is one of the highest grossing animated films. I'm not talking about this new one. I haven't seen it. People don't want to see this because it's got Gal Gadot, a fucking Zionist, trying to kill a little brown girl. They could just turn on the news and watch a Zionist trying to kill little brown girls. Gotcha? Yeah, that was good, right? Come on. Yeah, that was good. That was good.
I'll give you that.
No, but the fucking Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the original, is iconic. You wouldn't have fucking Disney World. You wouldn't have to worry about checking Disney stocks if Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs had never been made. So you can complain, well, why does the new one? Because it's 2025.
But nobody cares about it now is what I'm saying.
The same people who elected Donald Trump. Why do we care what these people think?
That's what I'm saying. Look, I'm not doubting Snow White 100 years ago. I'm doubting Snow White now. Nobody cares about it now, Scott, is what I'm saying.
People do care about it now. People care about the original.
Apparently they didn't care about it enough to go see the fucking movie. They made less than $100 million.
People are mad because fucking Snow White is a brown person and not a Snow White. People are racist. People are terrible.
I will bet my yearly paycheck that if they would have casted an actress that has skin pale white, nobody was still going to see this fucking movie.
Well, we'll never know.
I would bet all the money that I have that's because you don't want to know why? Because guess what? The animated movie is a classic. But it's the animated movie is a classic. Nobody gives a shit about Snow White today.
Adam, you're so wrong. You couldn't be any more wrong. People love Snow White. People adore Snow White.
I think
people make their whole personalities around Snow White.
I think your Disney bias is speaking a little bit.
But there's a lot of people like me who are Disney biased and love Snow White. For you to sit here with a microphone in front of your face and say nobody cares about it because no one in your bubble doesn't care about it. But you're just listening to
people with a microphone in front of their face too. People doing the same damn thing.
But you're saying no one cares. No one in your bubble may care, but the people in my fucking bubble care a whole fucking lot.
I would argue the fact that they did so poorly on the opening weekend and the fact that it's been out and they've made less than $100 million for a Disney movie means that nobody fucking cares. That's what I would argue.
It's the 5th highest grossing movie of 2025. Yes, is it doing well? No, it's not. It's doing poorly. And once
They spent, from what I'm saying, they spent $225
it's not
million
going to lose money. It's just not going to make a lot of. It's not going to lose money.
It opened to $42 million. This past weekend, it made $14 million,
which is bad.
And from what I understand,
not arguing
they
it's
spent
not bad.
$225 million to make the movie. I would argue they're not even going to break even on it.
I think they will. Time's going to tell on that one.
I don't think so.
Time's going to tell on that one. You said the same thing about fucking Mufasa. I just listened to our old show. You were saying the same thing about Mufasa. You're like, why do we need that? Mufasa killed it. It absolutely destroyed. I went and saw it in the theater.
I didn't even
know. It was fucking amazing.
I didn't even know it came out until recently.
Because you don't know doesn't mean it didn't happen. It did. Mufasa was great. In fact, I don't even think it's in theaters anymore. I think it's coming out on freaking Disney Plus now. I went. I paid for a ticket to see it. It was incredible. It was so well done. And we talked about why Lin-Manuel Miranda didn't come back and do Moana's 2 soundtrack. It's because he was doing Mufasa's soundtrack, which was great. What did you say about my brother? It's so good.
Snow White opened to a disappointing $42 million.
It did. That's
but its
bad.
second weekend brought in just $14 million.
That's really bad. I'm not arguing
figure
that.
From the second weekend to the third weekend would mean just $4.8 million added to its cumulative gross. It's not reaching $225 million.
It might not, but it doesn't matter. They're renewing their license, so somebody can't do a terrible horror movie based on it. It renews the copyright.
Again,
It's a brilliant
That's fine.
idea.
That's fine.
You're not going to
That's
outbusiness
fine.
Disney.
No, I'm not going to outbusiness Disney. I'm just going to say I think you could have spent a lot less money on this if that's all you really wanted to do. You could have spent a lot less money on just doing that for a copyright that nobody really, I'm not going to say nobody, that
would be wrong.
Very few people care about 100 years after the fucking movie
I think that's
came
wrong
out.
too. Saying very few. Here's the thing. My community of Disney freaks like me who love Snow White, they've all been bitching about this movie too.
Let me ask
They're
you
not
this.
seeing it either.
Your community, are they all older people like around our age? Or are they the young generation?
Give or take. I mean, it's a mix.
Because it doesn't matter what the older people think about. You got to catch the younger generation. Did the young kids and teens go see this fucking movie?
Right now, millennials are the largest population. The baby boomers are dying out.
But you got to grab
our generation.
You got to grab the young generation. Is what I'm saying.
You sure do.
Did they go see the movie?
Obviously not. No one went and saw it.
Exactly. Nobody gave a fuck. That's why.
But that doesn't mean they don't like it, Adam. They much
like
do
the
like it.
animated movie because it's a classic.
And they're refusing. They're boycotting and refusing to see this for lots of reasons. People are complaining about DEI. People are complaining about, well, it's different than the original, and I love the original. And I'm mad they changed that. Fucking Star Wars fanboys are the most toxic fan group you can think of.
I think the people
these are no different.
I think the people you're talking about that are talking about DEI and oh my god, they should have gotten somebody different to play. Blah blah blah. They're just loud. They're not many. They're just loud. They're not many.
They're maybe. I hope you're right.
They're just the rest of the people. And this is going to go towards my point. The people you're talking about are just loud. Not a lot of them. The rest of people just didn't give a fuck to watch it. What they're going to do is they're going to wait for it to come out on streaming, and then maybe on like a Wednesday night when they got nothing to do, like, I guess I'll watch Snow White.
For the sake of all that is good, I hope you're right. And the people who are complaining about woke and DEI are the minority. And maybe they're just the loud minority. I don't know. But judging by those numbers, not a lot of people went and saw the movie.
No.
And there are people, forget about the woke DEI. That's a part of it. That's a part of it. But there's people who are like, oh, I'm mad for X, Y, and Z because it's not like what I think in my brain it should be like, so I'm not going to go see it. You know that's a thing that people do. Star Wars, Star Trek, every fan base gets mad at change.
Yeah.
And this is change. This is something new.
I think it's just a boring fucking story. It's just not interesting. It's not an interesting story. I think it's boring as shit.
I think you're wrong. I think it's a great story.
No, it's boring as fuck.
I thought
I'll tell you. I'll be more interested once it comes to streaming. Once I see the streaming numbers, then I'll be more interested and make my final decision. That's whenever I will make my final decision whether or not people give a fuck or not. I think right now, honestly, personally, me, I grew up watching the original Snow White. I watched all the Disney cartoon movies. I watched Snow White. It is a boring fucking story, though.
Oh,
the
come
only
on.
good thing about that story is the little quippy stuff from the dwarfs. That's it. That's it. Nothing else matters. None of it. The rest of
When
it doesn't
Dopey
fucking matter.
falls down the steps and has to wash his hand and swallows that bar of soap,
I'll tell you what.
Can't tell me that's not hilarious.
I'll tell you what would have made a better story. What would have made a better movie? The dwarf origin story. Where the fuck did these guys come from? How did they get control of this mine? Where's their land? What's going on with them? Like that would have made a much more. I would have went to go see that in the theaters.
No, you wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't. No, but I would have been more interested in that. I'd be like, what's the dwarf origin story? How did these guys get the mine? Why did they become miners? Like, what's going on? Is it like Lord of the Rings where there's a bunch of dwarves, or are they just guys just like humans that are dwarves? Like, what's going on?
In the show Once Upon a Time.
I didn't fucking watch that shit.
I know you didn't. I did. It was good. It was good until it wasn't. It was one of those shows.
That would have been a better movie.
They did the
than just
origins of them.
recreating the Snow White story. The Snow White. The dwarves. People don't watch the dwarves or Snow White for the Snow White. They watch it for the quippy dwarves. That's what they watch it for. That's the fun part. I'll die on that hill.
I'm not going to fight on that hill because you're not entirely wrong. I love the dwarves. But
imagine this. Take that original movie, pull out the dwarves. Is it really that cool of a movie? Just pull out the dwarves and is it really that cool? Not really. It loses all its charm, all its charisma.
But you got to understand
all its fun.
It is the OG fairy tale, man.
I know. I understand that.
Like,
but what I'm saying is if you go pull out the dwarves, isn't it a much more boring movie? There's no fun in that movie. There's no charisma.
Take out Timon and Pumbaa out of The Lion King and you've got Hamlet.
They got no Riz in that movie.
Give me that fucking break with your Riz.
You take out Timon and Pumbaa, movie's still good. It's fine. It's not as good. It's definitely lost some seasoning to it, but it's still a pretty good movie. Because Shakespeare's better than any of that bullshit.
Was that Hans Christian Andersen or Grimm's brothers? Who wrote Snow White?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know either.
It's one of those.
Either way, Shakespeare's better. So, just saying. Scott.
Adam.
Before we talk about Core Cinema,
I thought you were going to Cores of Cinema.
I was, and
then the brakes hard.
I was, and then I remember two.
I got whiplash from that.
I remember, and then there was two things I did want to talk about real quick because I feel like we have to talk about briefly, just very briefly. We had two deaths this past week. We had Val Kilmer died.
Val Kilmer hit
and
hard.
George Foreman died.
Yep,
they both died. That was very sad. Very sad. I like Val Kilmer. He played Batman.
He did.
He played Batman.
He played Iceman.
Despite what you think about that movie, he was still Batman. He was in Top Gun. He was very good. He was fucking Mad Mardigan.
He was Mad Mardigan.
Mad Mardigan. Mad Mardigan.
That was a pretty good Warwick Davis.
Peck. Yeah, he was. I like Val Kilmer a lot. It's very sad.
Yeah, he had been sick for quite a while.
Yeah. We saw it a little bit when if you watch the Top Gun sequel, we saw it a little bit.
Which was so kick-ass.
It was. It was just.
Yeah, he couldn't even talk. It was really
He was
bad.
having a hard time, but I'm glad that he was able to come back for that. So that was sad. And then George Foreman died too, which when I told my mom that, my mom said, "Wasn't he already dead?" I was like, "No, apparently not." Did you have a George Foreman grill? Did your family have one?
I was just going to say, I'm a big fan of his grill.
My grandmother loved the George Foreman grill. My grandmother...
The George Foreman lean green grilling machine.
All that grease. It was literally just like a slanted grill so the grease could run down. It was no different than like cooking it on like a frying pan. It was just on a slant. He used gravity to make you think you were eating healthy, but like... It was still cool. Like it was a nice little. Like if you didn't want dirty stuff, actually, you know what? I'll be honest with you. It fucking was a bigger pain in the ass to clean than just a skillet. But
it was a pain to clean.
It was a massive pain in the ass. But you know, it made you think you were getting healthy. It made you think like, hey, I'm eating healthy now because of all this grease. You could see the grease. They had a little trap underneath the thing that would collect all the grease. So you could say, look at all this grease I didn't eat. You're still eating a fucking burger. But still, like, it was cool. Like, my grandmother had multiple George Foreman grills. I think when we were cleaning out her place, we found a George Foreman grill in her back room. So
Do you have a George Foreman here?
No.
We have one at my house.
It's currently now?
Still have it.
Really? Is it like
we use it a lot.
Really? Is it like you bought it way back when? Or is it like... Are they still
I think
making?
it's older.
Are they still making
I bet
George
you
Foreman
can still
grills?
buy them. Yeah, I don't see why not.
I'm gonna go to Amazon.
Google me, Chuck. Google me.
I'm gonna go on Amazon to see if I can find a George Foreman.
I bet
grill.
they still make them. I bet you could buy a George Foreman grill. I don't see why not. They're timeless, man. Ours is pretty old. I think.
Do you still use it frequently?
We haven't used it for a minute, but yeah, we used to use it a lot.
Motherfucker, they're still making them.
I told you. They're fine.
I mean, he sold the IP for his name to put on those grills. Though.
He didn't make the grill.
No.
You didn't see George Foreman with a hammer doing wiring. No. He's just the spokesperson.
Yeah.
Whatever company, probably some kind of an appliance company, cookware, I don't even know, developed it and said, we need somebody.
Dude, George Foreman grills hit the 20 cent. This is a more expensive one, but look at this fucking beast. Look at this fucker.
Oh.
They've hit the fucking 21st century.
Yeah, it presses down. I like it. It cooks from both sides.
Yeah.
I like it, George Foreman. Don't knock it till you try it.
I mean, yeah, like most restaurants had like shit like that cook from us. Like, you want to cook it faster?
Yeah.
You put your hand on it.
Doing it at home. Doing it at home. So we keep talking about the grill. Like, is that what you know George Foreman from, the grill?
I mean, he was a boxer.
You know he was a boxer.
I know he was a boxer. I know he.
What do you know about the rumble in the jungle?
I know he took some blows to the head. I know. Yeah.
What do you know about the rumble in the jungle?
I think he's more famous for the grill. So
if we talked about this when we did our Will Smith draft, you have not watched the movie Ali.
I have not.
And I might need to give that to you for a coercive.
You gotta find it first.
I don't know. Yeah, I got to find it first. But Muhammad Ali was the champ. He was like, couldn't be beat. And then he got upset by Joe Frazier.
He was the champ, and then he became the chump.
Joe Frazier was not supposed to beat him. So Ali wanted a rematch with Frazier. He wanted his belt back. Well, Frazier's next fight was against some guy named George Foreman. And have you ever heard of the famous call? I don't remember who said it, but it was like, down goes Frazier. Down goes.
I have heard that.
Joe Frazier got knocked out by guess who? George Foreman. George Foreman knocked out Joe Frazier to win heavyweight champion of the world. So then Muhammad Ali took on George Foreman at the Rumble in the Jungle, which was in, I think, Zaire, Africa, which isn't even a country anymore. They fought in Africa, a Rumble in the Jungle. And George Foreman's a big dude.
Oh, he's massive.
He's a big dude. Like, you get hit by him. So Ali did the rope-a-dope.
From what I understand about like George Foreman, like when you fought George Foreman, like he won mostly because he could outlast his opponent. Like they would tire themselves up by hitting him so much that they would just get tired because he could take a hit and keep on going.
Ali beat George Foreman in the Rumble in the Jungle to regain the title by rope-a-dope. He wasn't doing what you just said. He was moving. He was quicker. George Foreman was bigger, so Ali was moving.
Yeah.
And then he went to the ropes, and he was just letting him pound on him and just get tired. And then after several rounds of that, he just let him have it. So George Foreman, to me, is the boxer because he was incredible.
Yeah.
And I'm sad to see him
I
go.
do know, yeah, his boxing acumen, obviously. He's probably still more famous, obviously, for the grill, but you know, I do know of him being a boxer.
With you whippersnappers, who's famous for the grill, but you have to watch Ali sometime. That's going to be on my short list.
I'm sure it's probably good. I just never watched it because I didn't really care about boxing that much. So, I mean, it's sad to lose both these people. Unfortunately.
So I was watching stuff with this Val Kilmer. Dude, he was a good-looking guy when he was young.
He was
he was a handsome man. No homo.
Dude was a looker. Like
no homo.
He was like he could have been a male model, probably. He's a good-looking guy.
Picture like the first Top Gun, Iceman. I know he was kind of the antagonist.
Cut.
The volleyball scene, like.
Yeah.
I'm not gay, but I might have been gay. Like for that.
I'm not gay, but I was trying.
I don't think I would have kicked him out of bed for eating crackers.
No.
I'm just saying.
Crack a walnut on those cheeks, man.
Shit.
Like,
They don't make him like that anymore.
yeah, like
R.I.P.
like 0%
Iceman.
fat, like all muscle.
He was a
toned.
Greek god.
He wasn't massive, but he was toned.
Did you ever see The Saint?
6-pack. No.
Underrated Val Kilmer movie, The Saint. Anyway.
I meant to put seal on here.
Kiss from a Rose.
I meant to put that on here.
I love Seal. I love that
Did you
song.
see-
I couldn't name a second song by
I'm assuming this is a Super Bowl commercial, but the fucking
seal
seal
being a
commercial.
seal?
How fucking scary is that?
I can't
It's in my
hold
nightmares.
Mountain Dew with my flipper.
It's in my nightmares. I saw that on like a Hulu ad or YouTube ad, and I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? It's freaky. It's scary. That's like CGI horror. That's what that is.
Adam,
Scott,
is it time?
it is time.
Let's get
wrap
coercive.
it up.
Let's get coercive.
Course Cinema. So this is my pick this week. I chose John Candy's last film. This is the last film that he ever acted in, Wagons East. A plucky little comedy. You know the tradition of Westerns. Wagons West, where they're going westward to colonize. This is about it's a bit of a comedy about a group of people that are just sick and tired of the West. They're sick and tired of everything. And so they decide to hire a wagon master to take them east, back to the East Coast. And who's the wagon master but John Candy? It's kind of a bit of a star-studded cast a little bit in this one. You had, obviously, John Candy, blanking on names, but you had the doctor from Voyager who was in this. You had Dr. Cox from Scrubs.
Robert Picardo is the doctor.
Yes. What did you think of it? Because this is a movie that I remember watching when I was a kid, and it was a bit of a rewatch again. But I like quirky, stupid little comedies, and it definitely didn't beat like a rewatch of Uncle Buck. But like I would watch this every now and then, you know.
So this is, and I feel like since we've changed the format of Course of Cinema, it has been for the better.
Yeah.
This is a movie, if I would have watched it by myself, I wouldn't have enjoyed it. But watching it with you here, talking about it, making fun of it, laughing at it, made it better than it really was.
It's not a good movie.
It's not a good movie, but it's fun to watch.
It has its charming moments. The whole, they sneak into the Indian camp. Like, well, he's wearing moccasins.
That was good. That was good. Yeah, there was just like little.
They're just like little tidbits. You know, he turned out to be the wagon master for the Donner Party, like that whole thing. So like the entire story is like that, and they have to like cross these like little treacherous paths, and the entire time they're being opposed by this bounty hunter because this governor or whatever, he's like. He doesn't like the idea that this wagon train is moving east and, you know, they're gaining traction. Right. They're having more people join them. And he's like, we don't want this trend to happen because we make money off of sending people out west.
Right.
And so they hire this bounty hunter to basically like, stop him as much as you can. It's like almost like a cartoony, like Looney Tunes style kind of thing where like he just keeps fucking up every now and then. At one point he's like trying to blow up a bridge they're on, but then the fuse goes out and he goes back to like try to relight it and it lights on its own, and then his hand gets stuck in the crack, and it's like a lot of Looney Tunes style comedy. I'm not happy that it's John Candy's last film because he's done pretty much everything else has been better than that. But it's still kind of fun. It's still kind of a fun, quirky little comedy to watch. Oh, they also had briefly, again, Star Trek character, the guy that played Neelix. He played in this movie as well as a character.
Yeah, I wanted to see. I'm like,
he wasn't in it a lot. He wasn't a lot. It was Robert Picardo and the guy that played Neelix.
There was 2 characters from Star Trek Voyager involved in this.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
pre-Voyager, by the way.
I'm like, did someone from Star Trek Voyager, were they involved with this film?
Might have been.
And I didn't see it. I didn't see any crossover. It's just, I think it's just a, I just think it's
young
just irony,
Richard Lewis. He's one of the main characters too.
Yeah.
Like,
he was arguably one of the better characters in the whole thing.
He was great. He was like a surgeon who had like former doctor surgeon who was like a cow wrestler in the West because he like lost a patient and he was like had stage fright in terms of like doing surgery, and at one point he has to do surgery on a gunshot wound victim who's part of the train. And the funny part about it is he comes out and he's like, oh, I just got in there and I just did it, and it's just memory, just I just picked it up, the scalpel, and I just went in there, did he survive? No, he died. But still, I had confidence enough to do it. It's quirky little
he was good.
Like that.
He was a good character, and you had told me when we were watching this, you're like, oh yeah, he died last year.
Richard Lewis died recently.
Richard Lewis died. I was like, I didn't even know. I knew he was sick from Curb Your Enthusiasm.
It might have been the year before. I can't remember, but I know
it was in the last couple of years. Yeah. I didn't know Richard Lewis passed away.
When you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, you can see him. He's basically a skeleton. It's very sad.
Richard Lewis's character was great, and John McGinley, is that his name? Dr. Cox. Yeah. John McGinley.
Yeah.
He's been in a lot of other things, but his character was pretty funny.
He was
flaming gay.
He was flaming gay, but the joke was, spoilers if you didn't watch the fucking movie, the joke was he was a really good gunslinger. And so at one point he just because they come across Native Americans, and they send a Native American couple people to go guide them back east. When they go back east, he's rides off with the Indians, I think they said that, I kind of gave up on it a little too quick, and he just rides back with it and stuff it's just quirky.
I also enjoyed that one family that just
they ordered a mail order bride, basically.
So this family, they ordered a mail order bride. She's like, oh, which one am I marrying? He's like, you're marrying all of us.
We all pitched in.
Yeah. And it was she was appalled because they were the worst. They were the worst
Think
people.
of the most hillbilly people you could think of.
They were
That's
just
what
awful.
It is.
But as the story progressed, slowly, one of them dies each act. Until they were all dead at the end.
There was almost a love triangle between her and this other, her and the family, the guys, and then this other guy who was his white hair, white knight basically kind of thing. And as the story progresses, they all die in unique manners. It's clever. It's funny. It's think more Looney Tunes when you watch it. Think Looney Tunes as you're watching the movie, and then you'll get a good idea. But it's time, Scott, for you to choose the next coercive cinema, sir.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you this, and this is 2 Tubies in a row. God bless Tubi, because when I have movies that I want you to watch, I don't check Tubi to see if they're on there. I check the usual suspects.
Yeah.
And these movies I want you to watch aren't on anything. So
I might have to go to Tubi then to pick some stuff.
I can't pick Tubi. Well, when I was looking, the last one I picked was 12 Angry Men. We had a good time with that.
Yeah.
There was another one I saw that was on Tubi when I found 12 Angry Men. And I'm like, that's it. I'm going to give it to him. Adam, it's a musical.
Oh.
It's also an older movie, just like 12 Angry Men. It's old, and it's a musical. You are going to watch 1776, the musical. You haven't seen that.
I've heard of it.
Have you seen it?
No.
Okay, great. It's on Tubi, so there'll be commercials. But it is really funny, really good. Historical. It's like Hamilton before Hamilton.
Okay.
So I had coercived you Hamilton ages ago.
Hamilton was good.
So you're going to watch this. 1776, the musical on Tubi. Everybody who is watching this, tune in, because you need to watch 1776, and we'll talk about it next week. Adam.
Scott, if you want to get hold of Free Distraction, if you want to give recommendations of things, if you want to tell us what you think about stuff, whatever, you can email us fordistraction@gmail.com. We are on Facebook. Search for For Distraction. We are currently still on Twitter at Podcast FYD. Search for us on there, and you can send us messages. We record the live stream every Saturday night when we record, so you can watch us. We do it on our YouTube. The links are in the description. You'll also find the link for it in the Facebook. I will also share the live stream on Facebook. And I will post the video the next day if you want to catch up on it. Get away from me, Izzy. I'm doing the outro. If you just want to
do it live.
If you just want to listen to the audio, though, I do post the audio version of the podcast. The main hub is on Podbean, so podbean.com/4distraction. You can listen to us on there. It should also be available on pretty much every podcast app that you could think of. It's on Spotify. It's on iTunes. Should still be on Google Play. If you can find a podcasting app that it's not on, send me an email and I'll do what I can to put it on there, but it should be everywhere. Like I said, links to all this stuff is in the description of the show. We're still a member of the Electronic Media Collective, so head over to electronicmediacollective.com and you can listen to us and a bunch of other really good shows on there. But you got to email them, be like, send a message, be like, no, we want more for your distraction. You need to pay these guys. You got to give these guys a paycheck. Speaking of paying, we have our Patreon where we do bonus episodes. Most nights, occasionally we won't do in a bonus one. Like last week, we didn't do a Patreon episode. But if you go to patreon.com/4distraction, you can find us on there. It's $1 a month for, just some bonus audio episodes on there. All proceeds from Patreon is going to go to improving the show, improving equipment. I'm not keeping any of that money. We're just going to use it to improve stuff. So if you want to subscribe to us on there, we would definitely appreciate it. Thank you very much. Scott.
I cannot wait to coercive cinema you
Really?
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Oh.
And so you could just shove it straight up your ass.
Joke's on you. Maybe I'll watch it before you course cinema.
I can still do it. I could still do it. Make you watch it twice.
2 times.
I think Izzy needs her own social.